This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Agite Moed, Agen Kvittel. It's Erev Shemini Atzeres Hoshana Rabbah. Chazal tell us that when Bilam was coming to curse Klal Yisrael, the pasuk says, "Vayiftach Hashem es pia asayin." God opened up the mouth of the donkey. Vatomer leBilam me'as yisilacha. What did I do to you? Ki kisani zeh shalish regalim. That you hit me these 3 times. But the donkey did not say shalish pa'amim, but rather shalish regalim. Rashi says that the donkey was telling Bilam, you want to uproot a nation that celebrates the 3 regalim. However, the Arizal says that what the donkey was telling Bilam is, you are attempting to uproot the shalish regalim. Bilam was being accused of uprooting the 3 regalim, and I was always wondering, where do we see Bilam attempting to uproot the 3 regalim? We know that Shemini Atzeres is regel bifnei atzmai. What does that mean? It's regel bifnei atzmai. I want to share with you an incredible teaching of the great Makubal, Rabbi Yosef Glatstein on the Shaarei Orah. Shemini Atzeres, the Gemara says, in Sukkah and in Be'ah, is a regel b'fnei atzmai le'inyan pazer kasev. On the other hand, it's part of the 3 regalim, but it's on its own. Says Rabbi Yosef Glatstein, what this means is the shalish regalim correspond to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. In fact, there's a remesh, shalish regalim tachayg libashana. Tachayg stands for Tiferes, Yaakov, Chesed, Avraham, and Gevura, which is Yitzchak. So the shalish regalim correspond to the 3 avos. And Shemini Atzeres is the day of David. Shemini Atzeres corresponds to David HaMelech. So the avos are 3, and David stands alone, and therefore, in that sense, Shemini Atzeres is regel b'fnei atzmai. But David is needed because a chair of 3 legs cannot stand. As the Shlach HaKadosh says, that's why David was the regel revi'i of the Merkava, the 4th leg of the Kisei of Hashem, because a chair of 3 legs has no stability, and David HaMelech gave Amida to the Kisei of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And therefore, when Yehuda was born, the Shlah says, Vata'amoid miledes. And the same way, says Rabbi Yosef Glatstein, David HaMelech was the 4th leg of the Merkava. In that sense, he is the 4th leg of the 3 regalim. So you have 3 regalim, Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and a 4th regel, Shemini Atzeres, which is David. So we can suggest, rather amazingly, that we don't find any evidence that Bilam was going to be Oiker, the shalish regalim per se, but he did want to uproot David. Because, as the Agar Dekala explains, Vayagar Moav, what was Moav afraid of? What he was afraid of is, it is known that every nation has a root, has a source, has a spark of Kedusha which nourishes it, and if that nitzutz of Kedusha would ever be extracted, that nation would cease to exist. And the nitzutz HaKedusha of Moav was David. In fact, once David came to the scene, Moav no longer existed, Moav was destroyed forever. And what Balak was afraid of is Klal Yisrael would come extract from the Preda Toiva David, and then Moav would not exist anymore, and they were trying to come up with a plan how to maintain that nitzvah of Kedusha and never allow Klal Yisrael to get David. Now, if they would ensure that David would forever be trapped in Moav, there would never be a Shemini Atzeres, and Shemini Atzeres is the 4th regel, and then the other 3 would topple over. The same way David gives stability to the Kisei HaKavod, a chair of 3 legs cannot stand, would topple over without the 4th leg of David. The 3 regalim cannot stand without the 4th leg, namely Shemini Atzeres, and this could be explained based on a principle we once saw that the Chassam Sofer quotes from the Ramah Mipano, that all the Yomim Tovim are called Chagim, a language of a circle, but Shemini Atzeres is not called a Chag because it's actually the center point of the circle of all the Yomim Tovim. All the Yomim Tovim are like spokes on the central hub being Shemini Atzeres. All the Yomim Tovim revolve around Shemini Atzeres, and if Shemini Atzeres is removed, then all the Yomim Tovim sort of dissipate and fall away. And therefore, maybe what Chazal mean, that Bilam wanted to be Oiker, the Shalosh Regalim, is he wanted to be Oiker Adonenu David, the 4th regel of Shemini Atzeres, and without a Shemini Atzeres, you don't have Shalosh Regalim. So the donkey says to Bilam, Lama hikisani zeh shalosh regalim ad roitze lakar hashalosh regalim, because without David, which is the fourth regel, we don't have the three regalim cannot stand on their own. Wishing everyone again kfitol, a chag kosher v'sameach.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.